and welcome to my channel. If we haven't met before, I'm Adeline. I'm a homeschool mom of 4. Today we're just going to take a minute and talk about why we chose to homeschool. I want to start this conversation by saying this is a choice that we did not make lightly. It was through a lot of conversations, prayer, research, that we decided to take this path 7 years ago. This is by no means me saying that you should do it or that it was a wrong choice if you took a different path. It was a very personal choice for our family, and it has a high cost. And these are the reasons why we decided to do it. So hopefully you've got a piping hot cup of coffee. Mine is like 9 million degrees. And it's tea, not coffee. Reason number 1. We wanted to be the main influence for our children. Socially speaking, I don't like that whole it takes a village mentality. I've seen the village, and I don't want it raising my kids. We live in a fallen world, and a lot of times the things that they'll experience in the public school system is a result of that. Not always, but it does happen. When a child leaves the home to go to school, their primary secondary relationships get flip-flopped, where their friends are their primary relationships, their primary influences, and their parents are their secondary. When you homeschool, we reverse those roles, and we ensure that we as the parents and them as the family members, we are our primary influence. And friends and all of those other people are secondary influences. So we as their parents get to be their primary influence. And even their siblings become their really good friends. My kids love doing sleepovers together and movie nights. They love playing checkers and chess and Minecraft and doing all the things that they do together that they wouldn't normally have the time to do if they were gone in different classrooms all day each day. Developmentally, we can see their behavior on a daily basis, and this makes it so that we know right away if there's some sort of correction or discipline or discipleship that needs to happen for our kids. And instead of letting it go for weeks and months, or sometimes once it's too late, once it's already a concreted habit in their life, and it's not as easily uprooted at that point once it becomes noticeable at home. Reason number 2. We want to give our children a Christian education. This is really important to us as believers. We don't want to pour into our children all the time when they're home for 18 years and then for 6 hours a day have our beliefs questioned and stripped away from them for 5 days a week for 12 years. And I know I have a lot of people that have said to me, well, this is a child's mission field and they can go out and share the gospel. And that's like saying a apple sapling can produce an apple tree for you. I don't think they're really ready for that yet. Yes, they have their specific areas where their areas of influence where they can impact people for Christ and they can share the gospel, but they are tender plants, and I don't feel confident in sending them out there as missionaries to a fallen world at the ages of 6. That just seems too young to me. We also cannot swallow the cost of sending 4 children to a private Christian school. Some people can, and that's great. More power to them. That's just not something that is feasible for us personally. This way we also get to learn alongside of our children, which is really cool. I never realized how much I didn't retain in my own public school education. And it's like, what did someone say once? They were like, oh, or I'm not smart enough to homeschool. And they said, so you trust the system that you went through for 12 years. It didn't make you feel equipped to be able to retell that information to someone else, and that's what you're going to choose to put your own children back in? Valid point. Reason number 3, this gives us the opportunity to give each of our children an individualized education that works for them, that moves them forward at the time that's right for them, and not just the standard rate of, oh, well, it's time now to go into 3rd grade, so you have to go into that. We can slow down, we can take a summer, we can redo a book, we can push ahead, we can skip. There's so much flexibility within homeschooling. It's just such a blessing. It will also provide us the opportunity to pour into our children in the high school years, and help them get on a path that will benefit them right after high school. I commonly talk to them about the baby boomers and how they're all in the trade industry, and there's a lot of other jobs like nursing and stuff like that, but when they all retire within the next handful of years, there's just going to be this huge vacuum of jobs available. So I just want my children to be prepared for that. So we are going to, first off, encourage them to check out trade schools. Plumbing, electrical, HVAC. But I would be open to any sort of formal training. Obviously, college isn't off the table, but I don't feel like my children have to go to college in order to be successful adults. I have not gone to college. My husband is finishing a degree right now, but we don't even know if that was the right step for us. He's getting it paid for from work, so it's kind of like maybe we should take advantage of this. But if you have drive, you can move ahead without a college degree. Now, I will say there are instances where you need a degree. If you want to be a nurse, you need a degree. If you want to be a doctor, you need a degree. If you want to be a lawyer, you need a degree. If you want to be a CEO, you need a degree. Unless you start your own business. I guess you could be an entrepreneur then. I mean, really. Now, my favorite part of homeschooling is that we get to design our family life completely. We have our own culture. We get to decide what we do each day. We get to decide when our vacations are, when our breaks are. We get to decide our school days. We get to take sick days when we need them. We get to take mental health days. We get to take field trips when we want, and we get to have hours of unstructured play, which is so good. You might actually be hearing my children in the background doing that right now. It's really just a more easygoing, stop and smell the roses kind of lifestyle, and we love it. At the end of the day, I can't imagine my life any differently. I can't imagine not having them all day long. This is what my life is about. Being a housewife, a homemaker, a mother, a homeschooler. These are the things that I was created to be. This is what I love to be. This is where I want to be doing it. This is what brings me joy. I wouldn't have it any other way. This is my mission field. Right here. These really dark blue walls. And bringing up the next generation in a fallen world. It's a pleasure and it's a struggle, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So that's why we homeschool. It's not super deep, and I hope it was encouraging to you. Maybe you have some similarities with me. You could write know in the comments. Maybe we have some differences, and that's okay. We don't have to agree on everything to be on the same path. We don't have to disagree on everything to be on different paths. But the most important thing is that we don't have to agree on everything to be friends. So come back soon. I'd love to share more with you. And until next time, happy homeschooling.